This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
This thesis aims to understand the close relationship between the famous Hindu festival, Diwali, and efforts being made by the global Indian diaspora to perpetuate their old country's traditions and culture in a foreign land. It has to be understood here that Diwali is one of the most important religious occasions during the Hindu calendar year. In America, Indian Hindus have introduced their religious prayers, holidays, and other rituals to Americans as a holistic representation of their culture, often in the face of resistance by local city councils and residents in several states who have prevented them from trying to build religious temples in a local environment. Today, however, Diwali has gained mainstream acceptance and is increasingly celebrated nationwide, no longer being restricted to a pan-Indian activity. Nevertheless, the Festival of Lights indicates the best that Indian culture has to offer. In an immigrant context, Diwali is now celebrated by Indians in many different ways, from domestic rituals to significant public events. Sweet giving, here, is an important element of Diwali celebrations. Against this backdrop, the research proposal talks about the culture of giving that Hinduism shares with other major religious traditions common to different countries. In this way, I will attempt to understand the values of one of the world's most plural, tolerant religions. The objective is to understand the finer aspects of Indian culture through the festive spirit of Diwali. In order to further substantiate my learning topic, I would look into a select few academic sources that investigate the close relationship between the Festival of Lights and the initiative of giving sweets, which is a significant ritual during Diwali. Torpie, Kate. Diwali. New York. 2008. One of the key aspects of the Diwali tradition is the phenomenon of exchanging sweets. The roots of this tradition can be sourced to India's agricultural season, in which farmers would celebrate the gathering of crops as harvest time comes to a close. Kate Torpie points out that in rural India, holidays such as Diwali are a significant time for eating good quality food, especially for impoverished families. This is an occasion for families to gather around the table, making delicious meals for guests while friends and neighbors give a variety of tasty sweets to children and adults alike. On the second day of Diwali, guests arrive early for a traditional breakfast, which mainly consists of traditional Indian sweets such as motichur laddu, dried fruits, chocolate barfi, cashew barfi, gulab jamun, coconut barfi, and more. Torpie's analysis is significant for my research as it would help me decipher the complex cultural metaphors unique to India's traditional family environment. Plum-Ucci, Carol. Celebrate Diwali. 2005. According to Carol Plum-Ucci, the custom of exchanging sweets for a family symbolizes the prosperity for which the festival is celebrated each year. To mark the occasion of prosperity, sweets contribute to generating a feel-good factor. Plum-Ucci's research draws on some of the pivotal themes surrounding Hinduism's cultural motifs that come into display during Diwali. For example, the females in the household place sweets on shiny, silver trays and garnish the dishes with candle lights called diyas and sometimes jewels and flower petals. The display of Diwali sweets in decorated trays suggests the values of hospitality common to South Asian cultures. Basically, Plum-Ucci supports my argument that Hinduism is a generous, welcoming, and hospitable culture, not indistinct from other hospitable cultures that dot America, e.g., Jewish American, Southern, and Texas. Ganeshram, Ramin, and Vellotti, Jean-Paul. Sweet Hands, Island Cooking from Trinidad and Tobago. 2006. With the presence of the Indian diaspora worldwide, the festival of Diwali has spread outward from its national borders to different countries. To look into this phenomenon, I will describe the seamless adaptation of India's Diwali traditions to these different cultural environments. Ganeshram, Ramin, and Vellotti have affirmed that in the Caribbean island of Trinidad, which has a sizable Hindu population, the significance of giving Diwali sweets assumes a local flavor as these lands are rich in sugarcane fields, the use of sugar prominently featuring in Trinidadian cuisine. The research by Ganeshram, Ramin, and Vellotti would help me understand the adaptability of Hindu traditions in the Caribbean, which has a significant Indian population. Shah, Manju Negi, Celebrating Diwali in America, 1995. Similarly, Manju Negi Shah suggests that Diwali, which is celebrated in the United States, seamlessly blends with the local tradition of Halloween, assuming a trick or treat proportion familiar to children in this part of the world. At a time when Indians had to greatly abbreviate their domestic traditions in keeping with the local sensibilities of America, e.g., local city ordinances preventing them from lighting clay candles called diyas, blending in with mainstream American values like Halloween shows the adaptable nature of Hinduism. Manju in Shah's article would allow me to gain perspective on this adaptability. Richman, Paula, A Diaspora Ramayana in Southall, Greater London, 1999. Finally, in Southall, London, United Kingdom, which is also known as Mini India, the festival of Diwali assumes a noisy, colorful character, presenting itself as a welcome surprise to the drab cultural norms of Britain. This phenomenon has been studied in detail by Paula Richman, who notes the close similarity between the sweet-giving tradition common to Hinduism, signifying charity and kindness, and British values. Paula's article would help me prepare this thesis from a United Kingdom, European perspective. Did you like this Understanding the Significance of Diwali as a Representation of Indian Culture sample? To get more works like this one, make sure to check out the database of academic paper examples at ivpanda.com. You will find thousands of samples for all your study needs.